Like Vaporwave music, aesthetics, and content? Well, if this is your first time here, click the subscribe button and hit that little bell to stay up to date with me the moment I release new videos. So just one thing before we start today's video, I would love to give a huge shout out to the dudes at Nightlight Tapes. They put out some lush, smooth, and awesome Vaporwave and Ambient albums I think you would all enjoy. Nightlight Tapes just came out with the album I use in the background of my videos a lot, Computer Love by Aristotle's Hard Drive. I highly recommend this album and another one by Teonet called Biomes. Both are on that sweet, juicy cassette format on their page. Also, Nightlight Tapes is now offering a set of 3 tapes featuring their current tape releases, Computer Love, Biomes, and Exo Reality for $20, which is a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. With the purchase of the triple set or a Biomes tape, Nightlight Tapes is giving 20% of those profits to the World Wildlife Fund to protect flora and fauna everywhere. Can't thank Nightlight Tapes enough for sponsoring this video and letting me use their albums for the background of my music in most of the videos. Make sure to visit them at nightlighttapes.bandcamp.com. Don't miss out on some of their amazing albums on tape. Now let's get into the video. The visions in your head become too enticing to avoid, and you knew you had to take a shot at getting over the city barrier. Your plan has backfired, however, as the government police corp quickly tapped into your mental data files, realizing you were trying to escape the fortress. And that brings you here, to the present moment, as you're the target fleeing this cyberpunk police chase scene in some 1980s refurbished Nissan, speeding away from a barrage of floating, futuristic police hover cars. The roads are difficult to navigate, to say the least, and synthetic rain generated from the city's evaporation tanks are polluting every square centimeter of your windshield, and the constant beams of purple and pink neon lights from the city around you make you feel like you're looking through a kaleidoscope. You somehow outrun the cops, ditch the car, and now find yourself in a back alley, scared to make any sort of movement back into the light due to the fear of being caught. How long can you stay here without being detected, you ask yourself. Suddenly, you feel a tap on your shoulder as a man in an olive green overcoat, further disguised by the smoky, rainy atmosphere, tells you to follow him if you want to survive. You're part of the realization too, aren't you? He asks you as he reveals his glowing tattooed code emblazed onto his inner forearm. You're in awe, absolutely mind blown, as you've always thought you were the only one who had this hidden, mysterious, undescribable, glowing language on your skin. There are others who see life beyond the dome. You're not alone. Follow me, he says, and without hesitation, you follow this mysterious man into the depths of the alleyway, with the much-needed sign of relief, as there are others who feel the same way you do. We must escape this city. There's a lot of reasons why one may listen to Vaporwave. It could be its sometimes groovy, funky bass lines, drum patterns, synth melodies, and guitar riffs that are without a doubt contagious. Or the 80s aesthetic that most of us have never even been alive through, yet we feel like we're there somehow, or at least deserve to be. Some people, or at least most fans subconsciously in my opinion, are bigger fans of this sample-heavy style of Vaporwave, where directions towards a sample-free or more authentically instrumented album or project might seem to not be as interesting as the retro charm of Vaporwave tracks that seem to have discovered that perfect sample. But this other side, this ambient side of Vaporwave, where one whole album can seem like a continual trance instead of little jabs of cool R&B and jazz samples hitting you from left to right, can really provide an incredible music experience when allowing your body and mind to fully relax to its warm, rainy, stretched yet smooth atmospheric synth qualities. Birth of a New Day by 2814 is arguably the most known and highly praised album that comes to mind when referring to this type of Vaporwave sound. It's an ambient, atmospheric masterpiece when listening to the album from start to finish. Provides a listening experience that paints a world that album art provides in such stunning and relatable detail. It's lively and echoed piano keys that trickle along with cityscape, police, and rainy sound effects, all glazed over with this flanger distilled warpy synth effect, makes the album breathe right through your ears. 2814, the collaboration of HKE and Telepath, dropped the album on January 21st, 2015, and came out with a number of cassette runs and vinyl runs ever since. But today, I'm going to be discussing the first run of the second repress of the 2LP vinyl, released unsurprisingly by Dream Catalogue. Due to an extreme amount of requests from fans to re-release the initial vinyl run of the album, which was pressed as a standard black vinyl, Dream Catalogue repressed the album on this droopy looking purple magenta color that exaggerates the album art really well. I was lucky enough to grab the bundle of this and the 2814 vinyl before they sold out. out, despite the fact that they would eventually make a second run of this second pressing of the vinyl. In regards to the packaging and the overall presentation, the Birth of a New Day repress from Dream Catalogue has gotten by far the most gorgeous looking treatment compared to any other Vaporwave vinyl pressing I've ever seen, and it without a doubt deserves that. The album cover looks crisp and clear, high quality, vibrant and vivid. These neon colors pop out due to that contrast with the dark and enchanting background. The whole jacket is wrapped in this purple and pink design as if it was dipped into this glowing pool of purple and pink paint and then placed into a box to be shipped to its buyers. Another thing that is absolutely sick about this vinyl is what happens when you put it up to the light. At a standard view, they seem like a dusty version of purple or magenta, but when you face it up to the light, it reveals this smoky explosion of color. So sweet and really hits on why we all love vinyl so much. It makes it more than just the music, a physical piece of artistic evidence that can be praised and discussed upon with fellow musicgoers. Now, unfortunately, on the sound quality side, it is definitely not what I expected for the pressing, especially from this label. As many of you know, the Manipool vinyl by Vapor, pressed by Dream Catalogue a couple years ago, is one of the finest sounding records I have in my collection. Virtually no clicks or pops or anything within the sound, and everything sounds incredibly good and separated from one instrument to the other when coming through my speaker system. That being said, I was really excited to see how Birth of a New Day would sound on wax, and it falls subpar to the album's deserved treatment. Heavier, bellowing synths don't sound like they're being pushed to their full potential. The level and force of their sounds should be driving, right? The most explosive sounding parts of a song, but they sound like they're being heard from like the room next door, drowned out in the rest of the instruments and the sound. Angelic sounds on the album, they seem to wash into one another way more than it ever sounded on the digital version, especially when there is this sort of scaling arpeggio sound that is meant to be clean and crystal clear between each note. There's a bunch of popping and crackling towards the middle of side A, and I'm not sure if this is only on my specific vinyl. It definitely could be, so I'd like to see, if any of you guys got it, let me know in the comments. But it's definitely present, and I cannot make it absent in this video. As the album progresses into the middle of the track list, though, it starts to pick up in sound diversity. Voices come through nice and crisp, and the overall sounds seem way more layered sounding compared to earlier parts of the pressing that has songs sound like you're hearing them through a thick cloak or something like that. It's nice to see some of the songs finally breathe through here. This more superior sound quality is still overshadowed, however, with the constant cracking and popping, especially in interludes of songs when there's really no peaks in volume from the sounds in the songs themselves, and it allows these unnecessary noises to obnoxiously seep through. Once we hit side C, the tracks do still sound better than the A side of the vinyl. The drums sound absolutely great. Pops on the hits and those splashing crashes at the end of some measures sound absolutely awesome, up front, and triumphant. And while the splashy, washed out crashes sound great for that instrument specifically, the album is still constantly drowned out by that muddy sounding quality that takes over parts that aren't supposed to sound that wishy-washy. Sirens and synths that sound alarming and crystal clear on the digital versions we've all heard of the album sound like they're part of the same file. It's like a big slushy mess, stripping the album from the texturized aspects all the different sound layers provided our ears with. The Birth of a New Day vinyl pressing, it just always seems like it's preventing its true sounds from pushing through, masking all these powerful instruments over with a thick curtain. Now, do I think you should still get it if you get the chance? Of course, it's Birth of a New Day. The album kicks ass, like, sick album, and I wouldn't be surprised eventually if they do another repress because just so many people want this thing. It's an incredible album that it definitely looks amazing. Bravo on that Dream Catalogue, it looks sweet. I just think you'll get a better listening experience though if you buy the album digitally and listen to it through the proper headphones. Check out some of my other vinyl record reviews if you're interested in seeing some other stuff I have in my collection, and thanks again as always, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Much love, your boy, Pat Chennington.